everyone, and welcome back to my channel.
Today is a mega video. I am sharing a compilation of the top 25 Christmas DIYs that I put together for the Christmas season, and I use most items from Dollar Tree, some thrifted and some recycled ones. So let's get started.
First project are these gorgeous Christmas wooden trees. And to make these trees, I am using these wood pieces that were sitting in our garage, and I thought would be perfect to make 2 trees. So I took them to the garage, and thanks to my husband, he cuts them for me, and I already sand them, and here how they gonna look. I will leave all the measurements in the description box below in case you are interested. Now I spray paint them with this Rust-Oleum gold paint, and once they were dry, I go ahead and assemble them. I am using some E6000 and some hot glue. And once I am done gluing them together, I use some of these micro beads and flakes that I got from Dollar Tree and some Mod Podge from Dollar Tree as well. So at first, I am gonna work on the smaller tree because it's easier to show on the camera. So I just brush some Mod Podge, then sprinkle some beads on top like this. And I continue doing the same thing until I cover most of the tree. And here how it's coming out. And once I finish doing that, I bring some different sizes of ornaments. You can find some really cute one at Dollar Tree or whatever you have on hand. I'm gonna go ahead and glue these ornaments inside each triangle. And I'm just gonna play around, use some bigger size ornaments with some small and medium size until I complete it. Then I do the same thing on the smaller tree. And here is the finished product. I thought they look so pretty. I really love how they turned out. Let me know in the comments what do you guys think. my channel. Welcome. My name is Antoinette and this is my Simply a Chic DIY and decor channel
where I share lots of beautiful and affordable DIY and decor ideas. So make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss out any new videos. Also give this video a thumbs up. It really helps my channel out and I really appreciate that. Next project is
this super easy and quick joy sign, and for this one I am using this stove burner cover, the bigger size, and also I am using some of this adhesive covering from Dollar Tree. I'm just gonna cut a piece that will be enough to cover it. Then I peel the back of it like this and stick it to the burner cover and slowly peel the back all the way down. Then I cut the excess out. Then I smooth it and get the bubbles out. Then I have this gorgeous craft cord from Dollarama. It's a $1+ store here in Canada, and I'm just gonna use some hot glue and glue it around the sign all the way like this. Then I have this galvanized joy sign that comes in a pack of 3 words from Dollar Tree, but I spray painted with gold, and I am just gonna use some E6000 and glue it in the middle like this. Then I glue some greenery on the top. And I have this ribbon from Dollar Tree. I'm just gonna make a simple bow and glue it on the top of the greenery. Then I add some of these Christmas foliage that I got from Dollar Tree on the top. And that's all for this sign. I thought it looks so cute.
And if you love mega videos, I will link a playlist down in the description box below of some seasonal DIYs that I put together for you to entertain yourself while you are crafting or working on a project. So make sure to check them out and hopefully be inspired. Next project is
this cute snowman centerpiece. For this project, I am using this Dollar Tree plastic tray that I already spray painted with rose gold color. I am just gonna glue this floral foam in the middle like this. Then I'm gonna add some Christmas picks that I had from Dollar Tree. But first, I need to add some Spanish moss to cover the floral foam. Then I play around, add more of these Christmas picks and some berries. Then I add this snowman in here. And some more of these Christmas foliage. In this video, I will show you guys how I put together this beautiful wall art. So I had these canvas artwork from Goodwill long time ago. They were $3 for each, but they were 50% off, so I paid only $3 for both of them. And earlier in summer, I found these garden deco deers at Dollarama. It's a dollar and plus store here in Canada, and they were $4 each. First, I am gonna remove all the staples from the back of each frame, and I'm gonna leave this hanger here. Then I'm gonna take the canvas off of the frame like this. Now I'm gonna take the frames outside to spray paint them with this brown metallic finish or this rose gold spray paint. Once the frames are dry, I'm gonna start cutting these rods with this sawzall, and I thought I could cut them myself, but not really, so I had to ask for my husband's help. Then I'm gonna go ahead and mark where these rods gonna go on the frames. And then I use a drill and make holes in each frame. Lastly, I place the metal deer inside the frame like this, and there it looks sturdy and secured. I don't need to add any hot glue or anything. They just look so pretty. So for this project, I was inspired by so many Christmas villageries that I found on Pinterest, and have been wanting to make one for years, but I guess this is the perfect year to make one with adding my own touch. So I am using this evergreen wreath that I had for a while now. Also, I found these cute little houses and buildings at the Dollar Tree, but I'm gonna paint them in white. And I found these bottle brush trees in a pack of 2 from Dollar Tree, and these ornaments I found at Dollarama, a dollar store here in Canada. I am also using some of this drape from Dollar Tree as well. So now I'm gonna go ahead and spray paint these houses with white spray paint. Now I'm gonna go ahead and fluff my wreath. And once the houses are dry, I am gonna place them on the wreath with the trees, and I'm gonna play around with until I like the arrangement. Then I'm gonna use some hot glue and glue them to the wreath. And once I am done gluing the houses and trees, I hold the wreath upright and straighten the houses and trees, making sure everything is supported and secured. Then I'm gonna tear off a piece of this drape and tuck it under each house. You can definitely glue it to the bottom of the house, but I just tucked it under like this. Also, I decided to add some berries, which I only ended up using the white ones, and I really love how it gave it that whimsical look. Lastly, I am adding these LED lights from Dollar Tree, making sure to hide the battery pack in the branches. Then I hung it on my front door. I really love how it came out. I think it turned out so beautiful and festive. I was so happy to find these 3-piece brass wreath rings at the Dollar Tree, and I thought I could do so much with these, so I picked up a few more. Also, I picked up these cute blush poinsettia stems from Dollar Tree, some of these wire ties from Dollar Tree as well. Also, I am using some sparkly picks and berries that I already had, and these greenery picks were from Dollar Tree long time ago. I actually saw this beautiful wreath set on Pinterest at Etsy.com, and as you can see, they were over $178. So today I am going to show you guys how I made mine for less than $10. At first, I am starting with the large ring, and I'm gonna place these picks here, connecting the stems together, making sure to leave almost half of the ring uncovered. So I am gonna use some floral wire and twist the stems on the ring like this. Then I'm gonna twist some of these wire ties to cover the stems. Then I weave the poinsettias into the stems. Then I play around with until I secure everything. Then I add some of these sparkly picks and berries. Then I'm gonna add some hot glue and secure the top greenery to the ring. And here's the finished look. I also decided to cut some of these wire ties and glue them in between like this, and I think it turned out so cute. I love it. Now I'm gonna go ahead and make the medium and small rings same way, and for these two you can definitely use these wire ties and twist them around, but I used some of the greeneries that I already had. And here's the finished look of my wreath set. I absolutely love how they turned out. These would be perfect as one wreath if you attach them like this or separately. They will also look perfect for a wedding, bridal shower, or even in a nursery room. I hope you guys enjoyed watching and found these ideas helpful.
Next project,
I am sharing how I made these beautiful glammed Christmas DIY decorative gift boxes. So here what I'm gonna need for this DIY, and as you can see I have 3 different boxes of the recycled boxes that I saved. And I picked up this faux fur from Dollarama. It's a dollar store here in Canada for $4 and it's 3 meter by 6.2 centimeter. I actually found another kind from Dollarama as well, but this one was $3 and it's 10 centimeter by 152 centimeter length. And for the embellishment, I had some of these sparkly picks or evergreen that I had left over, and all these were from Dollarama a long time ago. Also, I'm gonna need some ribbon. I already had some leftover ribbon from long time ago. And of course I will need some hot glue. What I'm gonna do here guys, it's super easy. I'm just gonna take this faux fur and use some hot glue and start gluing the fur from the bottom like this. Then go up around and then secure it to the other side's bottom, then cut the fur. And start doing the same thing again until I cover the top of the box and the 2 sides. Then I continue gluing on the other 2 sides, starting from the top like this to the bottom. And if I have any area left uncovered, I go back and cut some thinner lines and glue them in between to cover the whole box except the bottom. Now moving to the medium size box, and I'm gonna use the other fur. This one is wider and I'm gonna do same steps, and once that's done I will do the small box same way as well. And here how they look so far. I'm gonna take a toothpick and try to fluff the fur so it will look like one piece. You can definitely do this DIY using blankets. Dollarama has some really cute ones for only $4, and I was gonna do this DIY with blanket, but after I saw these fur ribbon I thought why not to use them. Next step is adding some ribbon, and I decided to use this burlap with some shimmery gold. I thought it looks so pretty and it goes well with my Christmas decorations. So I'm just gonna glue this down, which I'm gonna try to find where the center point is. Then I'm gonna add some hot glue and glue the ribbon down, and then I'm gonna wrap it around, then cut it. And again, add some hot glue on the other side and glue the ribbon down. Once that's done, I do the same thing on the other side. Now that I have the ribbon on, it's time to add some embellishments, and here you can be creative and feel free to add a bow or any picks and evergreen that you might have left over or other embellishments you wish to add. I like mine to look glammed, so I am using these sparkly picks. I'm just gonna play around with until I like how I want them to look. Also, I decided to add some of this craft cord that I really love. It's also from Dollarama. And that's it. This is how it came out. I think it looks so cute. And then I go ahead and continue embellishing the other two boxes. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this fun and cute DIY. I really love how they turned out. So I am gonna share with you guys how I DIY'd these cute Christmas trees using some knitting yarn and few more items from Dollar Tree. So here all what I'm gonna need for this project: a white foam board from Dollar Tree, these two kind of pink yarn that I picked up from Dollar Tree, and they are different texture. Two of these wood pieces that I saved from another item from Dollar Tree, and I'm gonna attach them together to use them as a base. One of these Dollar Tree floral foam. I am also gonna use one of these giant bamboo skewers that I picked up from Dollar Tree. Also, I'm gonna use some leftover evergreens or wire ties from Dollar Tree to decorate with. Also, I found this pine cone garland from Dollar Tree. And I have some berries that I am gonna use to decorate, or these berry garland from Dollar Tree. So first of all, I draw my triangles on the foam board like you see me doing here, and I will need 3 different size triangles. I will leave all the measurements in the description box below in case you are interested. Next, I'm gonna cut them with this knife, and here how they will look. Next thing, I'm gonna hot glue these 2 pieces together like this, and I'm not gonna worry about the broken pieces because all of that is going to be covered. Then I take this floral foam and I cut it in half. Then I glued it on the top of the spots that I need to cover. Now that the base is done, I need to cut the skewer into 3 different sizes as well. Now I am gonna hot glue each one to the back of each triangle like this, starting with a larger tree. And once I glue all the skewers to all 3 trees, I take the first knitting yarn and I secured it at the back with some hot glue. Then I begin twisting the yarn and wrapping it randomly all around the cone like you see me doing here. I stop every year or so to add a little dab of hot glue to the back of the tree to make sure that the yarn is staying in place. And after I cover a good amount of my tree, I cut it, then secure it at the back again. Next thing, I start with the second yarn and I use the same method that I used on the first one. And once I am happy with how I wanted it to look, which I still want the white to show through, but I really love how the 2 texture of yarn gave my tree this look. Now it's time to add some decorations. I will start with some evergreen pieces. Then add some berries and pine cones. Also, I add some sparkly leaves and I'm gonna play with it until I like it. Once I finished decorating all 3, I decided to add some moss to cover the base. Also, I cut some wire ties and I hot glue them to the bottom. Then I bring my trees, starting with the larger one. I add some hot glue to the bottom of the skewer, then stick it into the floral foam like this. Then I continue gluing the medium one, then the smaller one in the front. I also decided to add some of this faux snow to the base, and I think it added a cute touch. Here's the finished look. I really love how cute they turned out. I hope you guys enjoyed watching how easy and affordable yet chic these mini Christmas trees came out. And they look perfect with the rest of my Christmas decoration. So here what I'm gonna need for the first project, and everything came from Dollar Tree. So at first I'm gonna need a base for my centerpiece, so I am using this piece of cardboard. You can definitely use anything, an old sign from Dollar Tree or any piece of wood that is flat. Next I'm gonna go ahead and hot glue some of these bamboo sticks that I had from Dollar Tree since summer. So I'm just gonna lay them flat on the cardboard like this. Next, I'm gonna hot glue my candle holders in place like this. And then I'm gonna cut some of these sticks and continue gluing them randomly in between the candle holders. And once I am happy with how I like them, I cut some of these wired garland ties to small pieces and glue them randomly on top or in between the sticks like you see me doing here. Then I remove some of these berries and parts of the greenery and glue them in between the sticks as well. Also, I added some pine cones and some lights. Lastly, I wanted this centerpiece to have that frosty winter wonderland look, so I sprayed some of this snow on certain areas and I think it looks so beautiful. Next DIY is really simple. I just need one of these fleece scarves from Dollar Tree, two of these knitting needles also from Dollar Tree, and I will need two of these wood cutout from Dollar Tree as well. They come in a pack of 6 and I am using just the round shaped one, and I will save the rest for another project. So first thing I'm gonna do here is cut the scarf, and I decided to use this one and use the other one for another project. I'm just cutting sections, then cutting these sections into squares, starting with bigger ones, then a bit smaller squares, then smaller and smaller. I will probably cut about 5 to 6 square sizes. You don't really have to be so specific, just cut as many you would think you would need. And once I am done cutting all the squares, I take each one and fold it in half, then fold it again in another half, then cut a tiny piece off the corner just to create a tiny hole to thread the knitting needles through like this. And you can secure that with the add of some hot glue underneath. Then I go ahead and cut a hole in all the squares. And once I have them all ready, I start adding them to the needle one by one, starting with a bigger one at the bottom, then move my way up with smaller ones like you see me doing. I hot glue the bottom of the needle in the middle of this piece of wood, and then I play around with and fluff the layers just like you fluff the tree. And for the topper, I decided to add this snowflake ornament. I just add some hot glue and glue it on the top. Lastly, I add a piece of drape as a tree skirt. And there, I think it looks so cute. Now I'm gonna go ahead and make another one same way. And here is the finished look of my trees. They turned out absolutely beautiful. Last DIY is really simple, guys, and super easy to make. I got these foam wreaths from Dollar Tree and I'm gonna use them to make a snowman. I got this fleece scarf from Dollar Tree as well, and I will need a piece of foam board to make a snowman hat. So what I'm gonna do here is that I'm gonna hot glue these wreaths together like this. And I like to tie them together with this chenille stem as well to keep them secure together. Then for the snowman hat, I am just gonna draw it on the foam board. And as you can see, I was using some measurements, but you really don't need to do that. Just draw any hat that you think is suitable for the snowman. And then I cut it with this knife. Then before I glue it on the wreath, I cut a piece of the same scarf and hot glue it around the hat like this. Then to embellish the hat, I decided to add this peg from Dollar Tree as well, but for some reason I thought it was too big, so I went ahead and trimmed it. Then I hot glue it on the side of the hat. And once that was done, I hot glue the hat on the snowman's head. Lastly, I put the scarf around his neck. For this project, I'm going to need a foam board, round tray to trace on the foam board, some adhesive liner, this wooden let it snow sign from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to need some Mod Podge and some beads and glitters. So first thing I'm going to do here is tracing this tray on the foam board. You can also use pizza pen to do that, but the one I use is a bit bigger than the pizza pen. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut the circle with this knife. Then I'm gonna cut some of the adhesive liner, just enough to cover the circle. Then I'm gonna peel the back slowly and stick it to the circle. Then use a credit card to smooth out any bubbles while I am peeling the back. Then I turn it over and cut the excess out. And once I have this board ready, I'm gonna go ahead and hot glue this Let It Snow sign on the board like this. Then I'm gonna mix these micro beads and some glitter together. Then I go ahead and apply some Mod Podge on the sign, one section at a time, then add some beads like you see me doing here. And once I cover the whole sign, I take a toothpick and remove any extra beads that are sticking around the letters or fill out any empty spots. I also use a small brush and brush the extra glitters off the sign. I decided to add some of this rope that I already had around the sign to give it that finished look. So I'm just going to use some hot glue and glue it around the sign like this. Lastly, I am gonna make a bow. Just any bow would be fine. Then I glue some leftover evergreen pieces underneath the bow. Then to finish it off, I add this pine cone on the top of it. And once that's done, I glue it on the top of the sign. And there, I think it turned out so beautifully. It would be perfect for a gift or for Christmas home decor. Moving to the next DIY, I will need a couple of these giant barbecue skewers from Dollar Tree, some of the smaller ones as well, and some of these toothpicks. Also one of these craft dowel pins from Dollar Tree. And I'm gonna need a tap of any bottle that you might have around or you think your tea candle will fit in it. And you will need a candle or tea light if you prefer. And I will need a black spray paint. So at first, I'm gonna cut the skewers about 3.5 inches long, and I'm gonna need 4 same size to use for the legs. Then I try to smooth the ends with this scrubbing paper. Then I need to cut some of these thinner skewers. I need about 3 inches long for the antlers, and these toothpicks I need to cut about 3 small pieces for each antler. I will also need to cut a piece about 3 inches long for the neck. Now it's time to assemble my deer. I will hot glue every 2 legs together at one end, creating a V shape, and I will do the same thing on the other 2. Then I hot glue every 2 to each side of the tab like you see me doing. Then I hot glue this small dowel to the neck, and that's gonna be the head. Now I will go ahead and glue the antlers together. And after I am done, I glue the antlers to the head like this. Last thing to complete this deer is to cut about 1 inch piece for the tail and hot glue it on the top of the back legs like this. And done. I think he already looks cute, and now I am gonna go ahead and make another one same way. Then I will take them outside and spray paint them with this Rust-Oleum black spray paint. And here is the finished look. I absolutely love how adorable they came out. Next project is really cute and super easy to make. Here's all the items that I might need, and most of them came from Dollar Tree and some are recycled items. So first thing I am gonna do here is take these stocking ornaments outside and spray paint them with this blush pink spray paint. And once they are dry, they will look like this. Then I take the bottom of the chocolate box to use it as a frame for my sign. I will go ahead and tie the strings back to the stockings. And I love the joy word that is on this Christmas card, so I will go ahead and remove the letters. Then I try to see if they will fit on the stockings. I will trim them a bit, then I hot glue them on the stockings. Then I cut some of this leftover faux fur and I hot glue it on the top of each stocking like this. Then I embellish it with some sparkly evergreens and some berries. I also picked this stick from my backyard, just enough to fit inside my frame box. So I will hang my stockings on the stick, then I hot glue the stick inside the box like this. Then I cut some of these garland ties and twist them on the stick. Also, I am adding these tiny pine cones on the top.
Next DIY
is going to be a Dollar Tree DIY Christmas centerpiece. Here I have this 3-piece wreath rings from Dollar Tree, and I'm just gonna use these two. I'm saving the smaller one for another project. Then I have 2 packs of these Dollar Tree candles, and I'm only using these boxes as a base for my centerpiece to place everything inside like this. I also have this chunky glitter fabric that I got from Dollarama. It's a dollar store here in Canada, and I'm just gonna use to cover the base with it. Also, I'm gonna need some Dollar Tree ornaments and some LED lights as well. So at first I'm gonna have these boxes ready. Then I cut a piece of fabric just enough to cover the sides and the bottom of the 2 boxes. Then I hot glue the fabric on the first box. Then I attach them together in the middle with some hot glue like this. I already had these boxes on hand and I decided to use them for this project, but you can definitely use any base you prefer or some of those long signs that you find at Dollar Tree. And I cover the second box as well. Next step, I'm gonna cut some floral foam and hot glue it inside like this. And once I have the floral foam in place, I go ahead and make a cut inside the foam. Then I add some hot glue and stick the larger ring inside like this. Then I do the same thing on the smaller ring. And for extra security, I add a dab of hot glue where the 2 rings are connecting. Now is the time to add the lights, and I decided to cut some of this floral foam off so I can fit the battery box in there. Then I go ahead and wire the lights around the rings like you see me doing. Next, I place the ornaments and I hot glue them on the foam like this. And once I am happy with how I arrange everything, I go ahead and cover the bottom with this drape that I had on hand from Dollar Tree. I also decided to add these cute little stars that I found on a thrifted arrangement long time ago, and I thought they will add an extra touch of Christmas, so I just cut them and wrapped the wire around the rings. Lastly, I will add some of these tiny pine cones to the bottom. And that's it for this Winter Wonderland Christmas centerpiece. For some reason, I didn't like these reindeer antlers, so I went ahead and cut them off. And I think it turned out so cute.
Next DIY,
I'm gonna use this recycled cake board or cake base, this sign from Dollar Tree, this Noel sign I already had for a long time, some greenery and picks, one pine cone, ribbon, some mini ornaments, and some paint. I am gonna place this Dollar Tree sign on the top of this cake board like this. So the first thing I'm gonna do here is sanding the glitter off the sign. And once I finish that, I go ahead and paint the sign with this linen chalk paint. And once the sign is dry, I use some brown paint and I just dry brush over the edges of both signs. Then I go ahead and hot glue them like this. Next, I hot glue the Noel sign at the bottom here. Now I'm gonna use some of this acrylic cashmere tan paint and some of this white paint as well. And with this punch dabber, I am gonna go all over the sign. Then I'm gonna use some of these mini ornaments. I'm just gonna cut this piece off. Then I brush them with some white paint. Then sprinkle some glitter on top and I glue them on the sign. I also decided to add some of these pearl stickers. Then I glue some of these cute snowflakes. Now it's time to add some greenery. I am just gonna play with it. And when I like how I arrange them, I go ahead and hot glue everything on the sign. I use this ribbon to make a bow. It's really simple. I just cross the ends like this. Then I pinch the top part to the middle and tie it with this Chanel stem. Then I glue it to the top right here. I also add this pine cone on top of it. Then I add some greenery. I decided to add this cute little angel to the top, but first I need to give it some paint job and some glitter, of course. Then I glue it on the top right here. And I add some berries as well. Lastly, I am going to use some Mod Podge, and I have this faux snow, so I am going to go ahead and brush some Mod Podge on certain areas, then sprinkle them with some snow. And here is the finished look. I absolutely love how beautiful it turned out. Next project is really cute and super easy to make. I am gonna need 2 of these fall signs that I had from Dollar Tree, 3 of these ho 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 sign from Dollar Store, some greenery and picks from Dollar Tree, and some paint. So first thing I'm gonna do here is that I am gonna use some of these craft sticks to hot glue on the back of these 2 signs to attach them together. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and paint it with this linen chalk paint. And once it's dry, I will draw some straight lines like you see me doing here to give it that shiplap look. Then I use some of this brown paint and I use the dry brush method on the edges of the sign. And I brush close to these lines as well. And once I finish that, I sand the edges to give it that distressed look. Next, I bring these ho 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 signs and hot glue them on the sign like this. Then I take some leftover evergreen and glue it on the top like this. Also, I am adding some more greenery and pine cones, then add some red berries. Last thing I'm gonna do here is tying these two pieces of twine together to create a hanger. And that's it for this project. I think it turned out so beautiful and so festive. For next project, I am gonna need one of these wreath rings, and I am using the larger one, some Halloween eyeballs, and I'm gonna use them as beads for my wreath. Some leftover evergreen and picks, some bell ornaments, some pine cones, and some paint. Next, I will cut the ring, and it's really easy to do it with your hands. Just press on where it's connected and there, or feel free to use the wire cutter. So first thing I'm gonna do here is that I'm placing these eyeballs inside the ring to see how many I will need, which I will be covering about 1/3 of the ring with greenery and the rest would be beads, so I will be using 20 of them. Then you need to drill a hole in the middle of each ball going all the way through. So here how I'm gonna do mine. I am using this iron skewer and I'm just gonna heat it a little bit. Then I drill it through this tiny hole that you see on the ball and all the way through like this. But please be extra careful if you do that. Make sure to hold them by the sides so you don't hurt your hand. And once I finish all the balls, I slide them into the cut wire ring like this. And once I fill up the ring, I will take it outside and spray paint it with some quick dry Rust-Oleum white paint. And once they are dry, and as you can see, the eyes are not completely covered, now what I'm gonna do here is that I'm gonna use some of this acrylic cashmere tan from Dollar Tree and brush lightly over the beads. Then I come back and brush here and there with some white paint again. I also use some darker brown paint, and same way again I brush lightly all over to give it that look like natural wooden beads. So I play with it until I get the look I wanted, then I allow it to dry. Now it's time to place my greenery. I am just gonna arrange everything on both sides same way. And in the middle, I'm just gonna keep it simple. I am adding some pine cones. Then I will hang these bell ornaments that I already painted. I am just gonna use some jute twine and hang them at the bottom of the wreath. Then I check to see if I need to add more of the greenery. I also decided to add one more pine cone and one more bell, and I think it turned out so beautiful. For this project, I am going to use a pack of these 3-piece tabletop trees that I got from Dollarama. It's a dollar store here in Canada. 3 of these wood cutouts from Dollar Tree. These sponge paint handles that you usually end up with after the sponges are dry, and I like to recycle them. Also, I am using some paint. So the first thing I'm going to do here is that I'm going to assemble these tabletop trees. It's really easy, and I'm just going to use some hot glue to keep it from moving. Then I am taking this stick and glue it in the middle of this wood base. Then I add some hot glue to the bottom of the tree and glue it to the stick like this. Then I go ahead and continue doing the same thing on the other trees. And once my trees are up, I am going to take them outside and spray paint them with some Rust-Oleum quick dry black paint. And once they are dry, I go ahead and use some linen chalk paint and brush lightly on top of the black paint like you see me doing here. I won't be covering the entire black. I still want the black to show underneath the white paint, but I just wanted to have that snow brush trees look. So I'm going to play with it until I get the look that I like. Then I will allow them to dry. And that's it for this project, guys. Like I said in the beginning, they were super easy to make. I really love how simple yet cute they turned out.
Next DIY, I am gonna need 2 of these wood pieces that we had sitting in our garage. I already cut them. One is 19 inches long and one is 14 inches long. These coasters I got from Dollarama. It's a dollar store here in Canada, and I am just gonna use 2 of them as a base. Also, I am using 2 of these wood cutouts from Dollar Tree. I'm gonna need 2 star shape from this 30-piece wooden shapes from Dollarama. Some of these beads that I had for a while. Also, I'm gonna need few more small stars that I already had and some jute twine. So first thing I'm gonna do here is that I'm gonna sand these pieces of wood to smooth the edges out. Then I'm gonna go ahead and paint them with this chalk linen white. I will also give everything a coat of same paint. And once everything is dry, I use some of this acrylic brown and dry brush over the edges to give everything that aged look. Then I hot glue the smaller squares on the top of the coasters. And I cut about 2 inches of this skewer, then I glue it to the star. Then I glue each piece of wood on the middle of the base like you see me doing here. Then I glue the star on the top like this. And once they are done, I go ahead and embellish them. So I am using some jute twine, and I'm gonna tie a bow where the halfway point is. Then I attach one of these stars right here. I am also using few of these beads, and I am gonna slide them into the jute twine like this. Then I'm gonna play with it, add more of these little stars and more beads until I like it. And when I am happy with how everything looks, I'm gonna attach it under the star like this and let it hang down. I really love how cute it came out. I also went ahead and made similar one for the other one, and here is the finished look. I think they came out so beautiful and perfect for Christmas or to use all year long. Next DIY is super simple. I had this sparkly gold reindeer from Dollar Tree, this recycled black label containers, and I am gonna use the bottom piece only, some adhesive liner, some greenery and red berries, a dowel, and some paint. So at first I'm gonna measure where to cut the container. I'm gonna mark down about 4 inches on each side. Then I go ahead and cut it. And once that's done, I measure the adhesive liner and I cut it as well. Then I stick it on the container like you see me doing here, and I slowly peel the back paper out as I go. Then I cut any excess out. Now for this reindeer, I am gonna cover these sparkles. So I'm gonna use some of this acrylic cashmere tan paint, and with a dabber, I will go all over it, trying to cover all the sparkles. And you can definitely see the difference. And once the paint is dry, then I lightly dry brush some white paint here and there. Then I come with some acrylic brown paint and dry brush over the edges like this. And once I am done with my reindeer, I go ahead and dry brush some brown on the edges of the container as well. Then I cut some floral foam and use some hot glue and glue it to the bottom of the container. Then I stick the dowel in the middle of the foam. I reinforce it with extra add of the hot glue. Then I glue the reindeer on the dowel like this. And I am adding some river rocks to the base to make it heavier and prevent it from falling. Then I add some greenery to cover the rocks. Lastly, I am adding some embellishments to my reindeer. So I add some greenery around the neck and some red berries, also a few tiny pine cones and more greenery. Then I brush lightly with some white paint to give it that winter look. I absolutely love how adorable it came out. Next DIY is this gorgeous star wreath. And for this one, I need some of these giant kitchen skewers from Dollar Tree, some cedar picks from Dollar Tree as well, some berry picks from Dollarama, some pine cones and greenery from Dollar Tree, some cotton twine, and some paint. So I'm gonna need 5 skewers, and I am gonna go ahead and cut them, each one about 20 inches long. Then I'm gonna glue each 2 ends together and wrap some twine around the corner like this. And once I glue each 2, I go ahead and place them in the star shape, making sure to have same space between each point. Then I glue the other skewer across to create 5-pointed star. I make sure that they all have about 12 inches space in between. Then I go ahead and add a dab of hot glue to secure them in the middle like this. And once I am happy with my star shape, I go ahead and paint it with this chalked linen white. And I allow it to dry. Then I dry brush some acrylic brown paint over the star and the corners to give it that age look. And once it's dry, I add these cedar picks. I glue one on each side. Then I brush some white paint over these cedar picks to break down the gold sparkles. Then I glue some evergreen cedar picks on top as well. Now I am adding these pine cones and the greenery part too and glue them in the middle like this. Lastly, I am adding these red berries in between, and I think it looks so pretty. I really love how festive and beautiful it came out.
For this project, I am gonna use this sleigh that I thrifted long time ago from Goodwill. 2 battery operated candles, some leftover greenery, pine cones, berries, and some bell ornaments. So first thing I'm gonna do here is that I am gonna go ahead and paint the sleigh with this chalked linen white paint. And once it's dry, I come with this acrylic brunette paint and dry brush over the edges to give it that aged look. Then I place my candles just to know where I place the floral foam. Then I hot glue the floral foam on the top right here. Then I add my greenery, and I have some different texture of greenery, and that is really cute. Then I add the pine cones and more of the greenery. I also decided to paint these bell ornaments in white, but first I had to sand them a little bit so the paint will stick well. And once they are dry, I dry brush some brown paint as well. Then I hot glue them here on the front like this. And then I go ahead and brush some white paint all over the pine cones and the greenery to give everything that wintry look. Then I add some berries. And once I am happy with how it looks, I place the candles, and I think it turned out so beautiful. Next project is this tree that I had for a very long time, and I thought to wrap some Dollar Tree garland around it to give it a new look. So here I am trying to see how I want the garland to be placed. Then I go ahead and secure it at the bottom, then wrap it around few times, and then I fluff it up. And once that's done, I go ahead and decorate it. I'm just gonna use any leftover decorations that I already had. These white picks were from Walmart long time ago. So first I am adding some different texture of greenery. I know it's hard to show everything here on a camera, but I am just weaving everything into the garland and play with it until I like how it's coming. Then I go ahead and cut these picks and again weave them into the garland like you see me doing. Lastly, I am gonna add this star that I had from Dollar Tree on the top of the tree, and that's it. Super fun, super easy, and I think it turned out so cute. I really love the new look of white and green tree. Next project is so fun to put together. It's this driftwood Christmas tree. So I'm using foam board, this Merry Christmas sign from Dollar Tree long time ago. And as you can see how I tried to paint over the glitter, and some driftwood that I collected over the summer from the beach. I already cleaned them and dried them, and today I thought it would be fun to make a Christmas tree out of them. So at first I thought to remove all the paint and the gold glitter off the sign, and that took me some time, but I really love the results. So now I'm gonna mix 2 acrylic blue colors to have that coastal color look, and then I go ahead and paint the sign. And once it's dry, I bring some acrylic gold paint and dry brush over the edges to give it a bit of that rustic look. Next step, I paint this star that I will be adding to the top of the tree. Then I go ahead and cut the driftwood to the desired size. And once that's done, I assemble my tree. First, I place the sign on the top of the board and the star underneath it. Then I start at the bottom and hot glue the tree trunk first. Then I go ahead and hot glue the first layer. Then I go ahead and glue second layer and continue to the top. And once I get to the top, I glue the star on the top like this. Then I go ahead and hot glue the sign above the star as well. Next, I am adding some jute rope around the sign to give it that rustic look. And lastly, I am adding these little stars that I already painted with same blue as the sign, and I think it came out so cute. I really love that coastal Christmas tree look.
If you make it this far, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found these ideas helpful. And if you did, please like, share, and comment below which one was your favorite. Also, make sure to visit the playlist for tons of inspiration. And come follow me on Instagram for more fun DIY and decor ideas. Thank you again for being here. I hope to see you back in the new year. Until then, be well and have fun.